Hello, good evening. Welcome to another session of Ask Me Anything. Normally these sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST on my YouTube channel. Okay, and normally I talk a few minutes on some topic, and after that it is open to questions. People can ask any questions, and I see that to my ability I try to answer those questions. Okay, so this happens every Tuesday. So these are called the Ask Me Anything weekly sessions. Happens every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Okay, so today we have another interesting topic, and it is called the Sweda Karma in Ayurveda. Okay, so Sweda Karma comes under the Purvakarma. That means we have got the Panchakarma, which you might be aware of. So the Panchakarma, normally we can't directly go and do the Panchakarma. Before that, we have to prepare the person. So preparing the person is basically called Purvakarma. Okay, and doing the Purva, Pradhana and Paschat. There are three stages. The Purvakarma is preparing the patient for the Pradhana Karma or the Panchakarma, and the Paschat Karma is post Panchakarma. That means once you do the Panchakarma, once your whole body is basically cleaned, you will have a lot of energy drop and your Agni is not proper. So again, getting back you to health is the Paschat Karma. So Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma. And today last week we spoke about Sneha Karma. Okay, that is how you prepare the person by lubricating him both externally and internally. And today we are going to talk about the next Purva Karma, that is Sweda Karma or Swedana. Okay, and it's a very interesting topic because there are different kinds of Swedana, which I think it will be interesting for you to understand how Acharyas have classified the Swedana Karma, and why we do the Swedana Karma is also important. Yeah, Tejashira, good evening. Hem Vaidya, good evening. So shall we start? So this is what it is. Okay, Chikitsa, just like last week, we started with this. Chikitsa or treatment is basically divided into two. It is Shamana and Shodhana. Shamana is the pacification and Shodhana is the purification. And today we are going to talk about how you prepare somebody for the purification or the Panchakarma therapies. Okay, so this is what it is. And in Shodhana, as I said, you have got the Purva Karma, you have got the Pradhana Karma, and you have got the Paschat Karma. Pradhana Karma is the Panchakarma. Paschat Karma is getting the person back to normal life. That's the post Panchakarma time. And the Purva Karma is preparing him for Panchakarma. Last week we went through Sneha Karma, where you lubricate the person, see that the ghee or the oil gets into each and every cell of the person. And now we are going to get into the second part of the Purva Karma, that is Swedana. Okay, now Swedana also has been classified. Okay, just like Snehan has been classified, external and internal. Okay, application of oil is Sneha Karma external, and taking that oil or the ghee internally is basically the Snehana Karma internally. Likewise, Swedana also has been classified into two broad classifications. We'll see that. Okay, so Swedana is Sa Agni and Niragni. Sa Agni means within the presence of fire, with fire. Okay, direct heat. That is Sa Agni. Niragni is without. We are still doing the Swedana Karma, still making him. Swedana is basically making a person sweat. Okay, we are still making that person sweat, but in the absence of direct fire. So this is the basic two classifications, two ways in which we can do Swedana. One is Sa Agni and the other one is Niragni. Okay, so but before that, before we do the Swedana Karma, we have to do the Snehana or the Deepana and Pachana. Deepana and Pachana is seeing that, since we do the lubrication, giving ghee internally, or externally, you should see that his metabolism is ready to digest all those ghee which we give him internally. So after the ghee is given internally, only we do the swedana karma. So Deepana Pachana is done, and the Snehana is done. After the Snehana karma, only we do the swedana karma, or the sweating. Some people call it sudation. Okay. So let's see how it works. Now let us see how Vagbhata has classified the Sa Agni with with heat. Okay. Literal meaning is with fire, but direct heat, how we can give swedana. Okay. So Sa Agni has been classified under 4 headings by Sushruta and Vagbhata. They've given the same. Charaka has given 13 things. All the 13 can be classified under these 4 headings. It's not tapa, it is tapa. Okay. Tapa, Ushma, Upanaha, and Drava. So tapa means heat, direct heat. So it can be, there are situations where you make a person, you heat the stone, and you make the person lie down on stone. You cover the person. So heat from the stone is heated. Okay. So the heat from the stone comes onto the body. Or if you have got a fire there, you make the person sit by the fire. So he's exposed to the heat from the fire. So it can, as I said, stone, a furnace, a lot of indirect ways. You can also have a pit. You can have fire. Okay. Under the pit, you'll have the fire burning. You will have a platform, raised platform, and the person will be sitting on that. So the heat from the fire comes and makes him sweat. So all those things are direct tapa. Then Ushma, you have to have steam. Okay. Or you can, it is not dry like the tapa. So Ushma is wet. So steam, you can use, people nowadays use Nadi Sweda, in the sense they put medicines inside a pressure cooker, new gen. Okay. And they close it, and once it is heated, the medicated vapor comes. So they attach a tube to the nozzle of the pressure cooker, and you can give. It's called Nadi Sweda. Okay, it's innovated way of doing it. And then you can take a potli, a cloth, you can tie herbs inside it, leaves inside it, heat it, so it is not exactly dry. Okay. You can also use rice to give heat. Next is Upanaha. Upanaha is basically covering and then giving heat. Okay, you cover the place and then give heat. These are all with Agni. And Drava. Drava is there's liquid. You make avagaha. You make the person sit, like in piles and fissures and all those things. We do something like sits bath and all those things where you apply heat. Or sometimes, when you have got cough, you apply steam. Steam comes in Ushma. Okay. You're making a person sit in Drava. It can be immersed in water, hot water till here, or, making a person sit in water. And the other thing is spiritual, where hot oil is basically poured all over the body. So in spiritual, there are 2 things happening. It is Sneha and Sweda happening at the same time. Heated oil is poured all over the body. The oil gives lubrication, but the heat also makes that person sweat. That is normally done when the person doesn't have too much of strength, and you feel that exposing him to a box where he sits, steam bath and all those things might dehydrate him and make him tired. We use spiritual also. Okay, that is Sa-Agni. Now Niragni is 10 times. Okay, there are 10 types of Niragni which Vagbhata has mentioned. Okay, 10 according to Vagbhata. So one is Ni Vata Griham. Vata means air. That means where you don't have air, you are in an enclosed room. Okay, it's Griham means actually house. It's basically a room, enclosed room, where you feel the heat. After a point of time, you start sweating. Especially in summers, you'll sweat a lot. Okay, so Nivata Griham. Then Ayasa. Ayasa is when you exert, might be exercise and all those things, you start sweating. Again, you are sweating, but without direct contact of heat. Then Guru Pravanam. Guru means heavy or thick. Pravarnam, Avarnam or Pravarnam means covering. So you cover a person with a blanket. Okay. what will happen is heat is generated with his own body heat. He will start sweating. Okay, Guru Pravarnam Bhayam. Fear. Sometimes if you instill fear in a person, he'll start sweating with fear. Upanaha. Again, Upanaha comes over here. Upanaha is it might be medicines and all. You tie the medicines which are generally Ushna qualities, okay, which can generate a lot of heat. You tie it, that cover it, that will also generate heat. You are not directly applying heat here. This is all Niragni. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done. Now 5 more to go. Okay. You have got Ahava. Ahava is combat. If you do wrestling, you are told to go and fight, do wrestlings and all those things. Exercise is different. Wrestling is combat is different. You'll really start sweating. Krodha. Okay, sorry, Krodha is basically anger. Okay, it's not Bhaya, Krodha. So if you make a person get angry, or you make him so if you start making him angry, he'll start get sweating. The meaning fear is wrong. It is actually anger. Then Bhuri Panam. Panam is drinking. Bhuri means too much. Okay, if you drink alcohol in excess, you will sweat. Okay, the Agni, the fire is inside, and then it will make you sweat. Kshudha, if you make a person, not take food for some time, the Agni inside will start making him sweat. Okay. Atapa is again getting exposed to sun. So these are the 10 ways in which you can make a person sweat without direct Agni. So one is Sa Agni and one is Nira Agni. Okay. Now what happens when you do Swedana? What do we expect from Swedana is what we'll see. Okay. Its application to get all the doshas to the koshta from the shakha. So if you look at Snehana, when you take the ghee or apply ghee, all the doshas, due to the softness of the lubrication, utklesha, dosha, utklesha, it becomes softened. Okay. Where Snehana, we soften the doshas. And when you apply heat, the doshas which are soft, which are attached to the Sneha, will melt and come to the koshta, and which is not a part of the cell. Okay. It can be something good, bad, ugly. It can be micronutrients which the body needs. Anything that is not a part of the cell. That's the beauty of Swedana. Okay. So the oil which goes into each and every cell, when you melt it, it comes back into the koshta. And depending upon what dosha you want to pacify, you can do the shodhana, make them vomit or do virechana and all those things. So this so important Swedana is getting those doshas from the shaka, from the extremes, from every part of the body to the koshta is what Swedana does. So if your Sneha and Sweda has not been done properly, that means if your Purvakarma is not proper, the effect of your Panchakarma also is not good. So some people say, I went and did Panchakarma. I was okay, I felt okay, but after some time, the problem again came back. That is because your Purvakarma was not done properly. And if your Purvakarma is not done properly and you do Shodhana, what will happen is the doshas which are not loosened with Sneha Sweda is forcefully taken from the dhatus, and it will cause injury to the dhatu. So proper Sneha Sweda is extremely important to have very good effect of the Panchakarma. So you have to choose centers or people who actually advise you really well. So you can't directly, as I said last time, you can't directly go to a Panchakarma center and say, oh, you have been having vacation, having all those pizza, burger, wrong kinds of food, not sleeping, alcohol, and all those things, suddenly landing up in the Panchakarma center, staying there for 14 days and telling, I want to cleanse myself. They will cleanse you, but the cleansing will not happen properly. So preparing the person, Purvakarma, is extremely important. Okay. Now you can start asking your questions. Now, good evening. Good evening. Hello, Karthik. What are the symptoms of increase in ama in the body? Does it cause loss of appetite, etc.? Yes. Okay. The main symptom is gaurava, feeling of heaviness, alasya, laziness. Okay, you will feel extremely lazy, you will feel tired. Most people, hunger might sometimes not get directly affected, not get immediately affected. You have food, you'll feel like, you will not have, even if you eat a little bit also, you will not feel the interest to do anything. Getting up in the morning, you will feel lazy, or you will not feel like getting up because there's too much of armor. And one other thing you can see is, if you have got too much of armor, when you pass motions, the stool which you pass will immediately sink into the bottom of the water. It is because it has got undigested food. Undigested food will not, once it is properly digested, that means pachana has happened properly. That means it has gone through the kapha stage, the pitta has acted onto it, it has gone through the pitta stage, and when digested, it reaches the vata stage. The moment it reaches the vata stage, the everything becomes light, right? Your stool also becomes light and it starts floating. That is one right way of finding that you don't have, if your stool starts floating, that means you should, by and large, you can make out, yeah, I don't have too much of armor. Okay. Namaste, sir. Can ragi or jawar kanji be taken for breakfast or dinner regularly? It again depends upon your habit. Okay, Manjari. If you are used to taking those since childhood, or genetically you are used to it, it is fine. But many a times you notice that most of the millets are seasonal. Okay, certain seasons you get certain millets grow, certain, now you get always, but certain seasons certain millets grow. You I would say tend to have those millets in those seasons. And if you are somebody, probably if you are from the south, I'm just telling you, just for say, for example, if you're from the south and you are used to eating rice, okay, just for health sake, if you shift to millets, you, nutrition wise, a lot of things have been told about millets and all those things, but that's not what the body needs. Body also needs things which you are genetically used to. So if you are somebody who is a rice eater, or if you are somebody who is a wheat eater, I would say predominantly stick to wheat or rice. Once in a while you can have your millets, but don't completely shift to millets until and unless you have got a medical condition where the doctor has advised you to take only millets. Okay. Gary, hi, morning. My wife asks, what are the best veg and fruits to balance vata? Okay. If you look at the gunas of vata, it is dry, tata ruksha leghu. Okay, tata ruksho leghu shita khara sukshmas chalo anilaha. That means vata is dry, vata is light. Okay, so those are the two major things. Vata is cool. So anything which will increase coolness, which is light, and which is drying, will increase vata. So things which are opposite to this would be the best thing. And if you look at the tastes, madhura, amla, lavana, katu, tikta, kashaya. That means the last three, spicy, bitter, and astringent, will increase vata. So any sweet which is predominantly sweet and sour will pacify vata. Okay, even salty fruits, but you will rarely find salty fruits. So any vegetable or any fruit, that's the way you basically understand it. Okay, so I would say most plantains, okay, plantains which are sweet will pacify vata. Other fruits, jackfruit will pacify vata. Mango will pacify vata. Even apple to a certain extent will pacify vata. Guava will pacify vata. Okay, now if you look at the vegetables generally, if you look at most vegetables which are underground, like carrot, beetroot, okay, what all you have? Underground things, underground things are heavy and they are sweeter. If you notice, they will all pacify vata pretty fast. Okay, so let us go for the gunas. Predominantly sweet things will pacify vata. Sweet potatoes, okay, but potato sometimes will not. Potato, if you take in small quantities, will, but if you take in large quantities, it might increase vata because it can cause indigestion. Moong, the pulse, green gram also pacifies vata. So anything that is predominantly sweet will pacify vata. inclined to learn about Sukshma Sharira. Yes, Hem Vaidya, it is very good. You can actually, we talk about the Sthula Sharira. Okay, Sthula is the gross body. Okay, what happens in the gross body, and whatever happens in the subtle body has an effect on the gross body. So if you take care of the gross body really well, it will have an effect on the subtle body also, and it's taken care of. Okay, but I think it's a good idea. You get few books on Sukshma Sharira, especially yoga and Vedanta mentions a lot about Sukshma Sharira. You can go through that, and it will really help you to understand yourself and your purpose much better. Yeah, Aditya. At our home, whenever someone gets cold or cough, turmeric fumes are recommended. But in what condition do take turmeric fumes versus steam inhalation? Say, if you look at steam, steam has got water. Okay, it is not dry. Anything which is not dry, okay, will not reduce the phlegm too much. The heat will definitely, but if it is not dry. So when you are telling about turmeric fumes, I know that you might be burning the turmeric stick. Okay, that what the fumes which come out of that is basically dry. It will dry the phlegm a little bit too much. So when you have got a cough with congestion, with too much of phlegm, I would say applying heat. You need not do the steam inhalation. You have got the hot water bag which comes nowadays. You mean the rubber bag? You can apply that on the chest. It is only heat that is going inside. That is dry heat which will help melt the phlegm. But if your cough is slightly on the drier side, I would say if you feel that a little bit of heat will help you, dry heat might not be too helpful. It is always good for you to take that steam inhalation, which has got that humidity. So it depends upon what condition, Aditya. Okay. Curious more about how processes like hunger, anger are used in Swedana Karma. Throw some light. Karthik, I have not used anger. I have personally not used anger as a Niragni Sweda. Okay, but if you irritate the person and the person starts getting angry and he shouts, you'll see that he starts shivering and a lot of heat is generated. He need not sweat, but we are generally trying to generate heat in his body so that the kapha melts. Don't expect that he'll be pouring. Same thing happens with hunger also. So hunger, it's not that he will start sweating, but with hunger, the pitta actually goes up, and the heat of the body goes up. That's what happens. We are only trying, Niragni Sweda, we are only trying to increase the heat of the body so that the doshas will start getting melted. Okay, it is not like the person will really start sweating and pouring because of staying hungry or by getting angry. It is a way in which you generate heat in the body. Okay. Tejeshwaramurthy. I'm 24 and I'm not able to fully empty my bowel in the morning. This is causing my mind to be angry and fickle. How to empty completely? Okay, Tejeshwar, emptying the bowel can be due to a lot of reasons. One thing is that it also depends upon what kinds of food you're eating. I don't want to go into protein or fiber and all those things. Let me not go there. I'm telling you, if you are having proper food and proper intervals of time. Yes, fiber and all those things are there, vegetables and fruit, carbs, protein, everything, If you're having a balanced diet properly and you are consuming enough water, okay, then there's very high chance that you'll pass motions. But Ayurveda says one thing, that it also depends upon the prakriti. If you have got a dry gut, okay, then you can't. English language opposite of dry is wet by drinking. So, but according to Ayurveda, opposite of ruksha or dry is not wet. It is snigdha. It is lubrication. So just because you drink water doesn't guarantee that you'll pass motions really well. Ayurveda says very clearly that your food which you eat should not be ruksha. You should not have dry food. Just bread or having something which is extremely dry, just dry chapatis and all those things are not good to be consumed. You should have food which is snigdha. You should add oil into it, or at least, mix something and make it watery. No, I don't say watery. Make it pasty before you have it. So snigdha ahara has been mentioned. So if your snigdha quantity goes down in your food, then you will have constipation. And if you do activities where your vata is going up, like sleeping late at night, over exercising, as I said, not taking too much of oil and all those things, again, it can lead to constipation. So constipation can happen to different reasons. So finding why you are getting constipation and trying to manage that is what we have to do. Just by taking Triphala Churnam, yes, couple of days you will pass motions, but after that, the Churnam itself will dry, because Churnam has got the tendency of drying, So that itself will dry your stools out. After a point of time, Triphala will not work for you. So we have to find out why you are getting, that's why my point is, we have to find out why you are getting constipated, and then we have to work on that. Okay. What do you mean by genetic food? Is it my ancestors' food? Okay, let me put it this way. Okay. Tejashwaramurthy, your physical body is one cell from your mother and one cell from your father, right? Your father is one cell from the grandfather and one cell from the grandmother. And he is one cell from a great grandfather and great grandmother. You go great. So it goes. I mean the physical body. So if you look at what your body is, you have got a subtle form of what your great grandfather is. What he ate, got, all those things have come. So genetically, you are used to some kinds of food. Okay. So which your great grandfather ate, that food which he ate created his body, and that was given to your father. That's how you also were. So your body also has a part of your great grandfather in subtle form. That food is the food which which is genetically close to you. Okay. Because me being from Kerala, I'm used to having food cooked in coconut oil. Just because somebody says coconut oil is bad and olive oil is good, or that is good, I should not think of shifting, because genetically they had all those foods and they were healthy. So let me also consume those foods and stay healthy. That's what I mean by genetic foods. Okay. Not what you have been having since birth, also what your great grandfathers have been having, all these generations. Okay. I hope it is clear. Okay. So no more questions. Questions are all done. Okay. I'm waiting for questions. Does AMA also exit by sweat? Okay. Ama. Ama normally doesn't exit by sweat. Yes, a little bit of doshas, because when you look at mala, we have got basically three malas, the three kinds of excretions. One is passing stools, one is passing urine, and one is sweating. So ama can go a little bit through your stools, a little bit through your urine, and a little bit through your sweat. But by and large, ama pachanam has to happen. Ama has to get cooked. Okay, that's the reason why we do deepana pachana initially, and then do the snehana, then do the swedana, and then remove it. Little bit of, but a little bit, yes, I would say will come out of the sweat. But by and large, when you look at ama is something which it is uncooked. Ushmano alpabalatvena. Dhatupakam apachitam. That means which has not been cooked. What? Ushmano alpabalatvena. Ushma means heat. Alpabalatvena. Alpa means less, bala means strength. Because the heat, ushma, it's Agni, all the Agnis everywhere, each and every cell. Because of the alpabala, low strength of the, the Agni, in each and every dhatus and all, you will find that what gets accumulated is ama. So the causative factor is less heat, right? That means less of pachana. So what you have to do is you have to do pachana karma to remove the ama. Okay. There are no shortcuts. That's why I said without that, if you try to remove it, it will be like you plucking the, juice without a mango completely ripening. If you try to squeeze the juice out of it, you will destroy even the whole mango, right? Wait. So you have to do ama pachana is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Is adding chicory to coffee powder bad? Coffee itself is not very good. Okay, chicory is actually a taste maker, and it works well in combination. Chicory is a root, while coffee, they are seeds. So for to taste, yes, you can add 60/40 or whatever it is. But if you want, I would say cut down the amount of coffee you drink. Okay, so probably the amount of chicory also can go down. When coffee itself is not so good for health, I don't think you should be adding too much of chicory. Okay, that also is not so good. So let us go in moderation here. Okay, Manjari. So what are the good food options for breakfast in general? Can I consume fruits or homemade laddus or shatavari milk? Samriddhi, I was just telling about what you are genetically used to. Whichever part, South Indians feel that their ancestors and all were used to eating idlis. That is absolutely wrong. If you ask any Tamilian, elderly people, maybe I'm telling about 40, 50 years back. See, you notice that 30, 40 years back, people used to eat only twice. Morning about 10:30, they used to have full meals, and evening they used to have something. Idli was out of the question. Idli came from somewhere else. Okay, and when you ask Tamilians, they will say idli once in a year for Deepavali. It used to be for celebrations. Okay, for celebrations you eat multiple times, so you eat idli. Ayurveda says pishtannam or ground foods are not very good for regular consumption. So see, whatever food you make then and there, I would say would be the best choice for you. If you're from South India, I would say, pongal is good, upma is good, or putta for Kerala people are good, idiyappam is good, where you don't ferment too many things and then, you make it then and there. Goduma dosa is good, roti is good if you're from the north, paratha is good, okay, khichdi is good. Whatever you make then and there, in my opinion, is quite good for you. Fruit, yes, you can definitely have, okay, but don't go overboard. Just go balance with a lot of things. And shatavari milk and all, I don't recommend anybody to have that on a regular basis, because shatavari I consider to be a very potent herb with a lot of medicinal qualities. I don't want you to consume that regularly. Okay, homemade laddu and all, yes, for taste you can have. Apart from that, if it becomes too sweet for you, if you are somebody who works regularly or work out and all those things, exercise, you might be able to digest all those things. But otherwise, stick to normal foods which most people eat. Okay. What is the best time to do exercise? I would say the best time to do exercise is in the morning. Okay, during the kapha period. Okay, or in the evenings during the kapha period. But what happens during the evening is sometimes if we exercise goes beyond a certain limit, especially with slightly elderly people, you'll notice that the heat in the body which is generated will prevent them from getting good sleep. So it's always good to do exercise if possible. Okay, do it in the morning. If you don't get time in the morning, do it moderately in the evening. But don't say, oh, I didn't get time in the morning and doctor told to do in the morning, so I will not do in the evening. I said the best choice is morning, or otherwise in the evening. But you should do exercise regularly. Srishti, what kind of diet should be followed during Purvakarma? Okay, so when you look at Purvakarma, Purvakarma starts after Deepana Pachana. That means after your Ama Pachana has happened and your Agni has started burning. Okay, so once your Agni starts burning, then you are getting into your Purvakarma. Okay, so Purvakarma is again trying to feed that Agni with Sneha or good amount of oil or ghee. So you cannot take anything which is heavy, which is difficult to digest. So the ghee which you consume internally also takes a long time to digest. So there are certain medicines or certain drinks we give, probably drinks in the sense, water processed with jeera or might be dry ginger, which we give so that the digestion always stays good. And you are only supposed to have food after this ghee is completely digested. Okay. At that time, you cannot give something which is very heavy. You cannot have heavy parathas or, biryani or something like that. You have to go for things which are very light, might be rice kanji or probably khichdi and all those things. And see that the Agni doesn't, if probably you eat too much and the Agni goes for a toss, then your whole Panchakarma, you have to stop the whole thing. So to protect your Agni, you can have light foods which digest pretty fast. Okay, everything cooked, that too. Okay, nothing uncooked. Should I have bath before meal? Yes, you always have to have bath before meal, or if you're having a bath after meal, give 2 hours. Okay, because taking a shower after your meal will douche, you will not help in your metabolism. When I mean bathing is really bathing, but if you're just taking a quick shower and all, I don't know, those people say it's fine, but in my opinion, it's always good to take a shower before your food, because shower, snanam deepanam ayushyam. Ayushyam is, it helps you improve your ayu or your health. Deepanam, it says, it does agni deepan. You will have noticed that when you take a proper bath, cooling your body with water, you'll feel that you really get hungry. If you are in a swimming pool for about half an hour or so, you come out, you'll feel like eating a huge meal. That means taking bath will cool your body. That means the agni, if it is there in your exterior, it escapes because of the cold water. So it actually hides into your system, and that's when you start feeling hungry. So taking a shower, bathing before food is the right thing. If someone has cancer which is malignant, is there any complementary solutions in Ayurveda in combination with allopathy? Would recommend best Ayurveda hospital and doctor for cancer in South India or Kerala? In South India or Kerala, yes, we do have few doctors. We have. I'm not able to get the name of the doctors. Okay, but I know there is one very good doctor in Pune. His name is Dr. Pankaj. Okay, let me see where my phone is. I can immediately get you the name of the doctor who is there in. You have got one doctor in Thrissur. It will come to me. I'll give you the answer. Okay, so yes, there are a lot of treatments which people do in combination with Dr. Sushila Saji. Okay, let me type that name. Okay, I got the name. Thank you. Dr. Sushila from Thrissur is a well-known cancer specialist. You can consult her. I think I've answered you. Okay. I can probably help you getting to that doctor also. Okay. So that's it. Yes, complementary we can do. Not only complementary, initials there, it really goes hand in hand. Okay. What are the good vegetarian sources, protein sources for vegetarian? You have got a lot of things. Soya is one thing. Okay, that's the best thing. And green gram, all pulses are actually good sources of protein. Okay, but I would still say don't overdo your protein. Let protein be a part of your balanced meal. You should have fat, you should have carbs, you should have proteins, you should have everything. Okay. In Ayurveda, what factor is responsible for Ichha Shakti or lack to do anything when there is no external stresses? Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Swarupini. Okay, I don't know whether you've heard this line. Okay, this is basically from the Lalita Sahasranama. So what you have to have first is the Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti is to achieve the Ichha means a desire to achieve something. We call that dreams or whatever you may call that. Okay, Ichha Shakti. And if you after having the Ichha Shakti, beautifully, that's the way modern management or motivation speakers talk. It is one reference from the Lalita Sahasranama. Ichha Shakti. After you have got Ichha Shakti, then what you do is Jnana Shakti. Then what you do is you try to get the knowledge for that. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti. You work for that, go to college, do to that, gather knowledge to actually succeed in your Ichha. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. And then you put your actions, You decide what to do. You have a plan. I do this, I do that, I do this. And then you do your Kriya. For all these three things, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Swarupini, Lalita, is the Lalita, or Durga is the Swarupini for that. It's a different topic altogether. Okay, but to have Ichha Shakti, you should have that desire to succeed. If you don't have that desire to succeed, then it is very difficult. Then your knowledge or your work and all becomes directionless. So what factor is Pitta is basically the factor which pushes you forward. Okay, that fire is that which pushes you forward to get to succeed. Okay, Vata helps you because Vata will navigate through everything. Kapha makes you steady. We need all the three doshas, but Pitta is one thing which can cut through. So what's the best time for vitamin D from sun? Any food for vitamin D, please. It's the best time for, if you look on the internet and all those things, they'll say that the midday sun actually gives you all the rays and all those things so that your vitamin D production can go up. It's the maximum. I don't deny that. But getting exposed to midday sun has also got its own side effects. Bad effects. Okay. So what I would say is, don't think of getting vitamin D from the sun on a single day or in a few days. I would say what you have to do is you get exposed to the early morning sun or the late evening sun consistently. If you do that, your vitamin D is basically taken care from the sun. Okay. And vitamin D sources, I don't know what you basically are used to eating. So I would say it's very easy for you. You can just Google and ask what are the best herbs or the fruits for vitamin D or vegetables for vitamin D. You will get everything. Milk is actually very good. Okay. So you will get you'll get a list, and whatever you are used to, you can pick from that. But regarding the sun, I would advise you to either mornings or evenings would be, but do that consistently. But if 10 days, if you stand in the sun in the afternoon, you might get that vitamin D, but getting exposed to afternoon sun is not good for your skin. There am I. Okay, does consuming spoonful ghee on an empty stomach act as a lubricant, or does it digest that is converted to sugar or energy? Karthik, we are mixing two philosophies or sciences here. Okay, even if it gets converted into sugar or energy, what will happen to the lubrication of the ghee? Lubrication of the ghee doesn't go anywhere. Okay, that will definitely come to the gut. But one thing you should understand, that if your gut is dry, that means your whole system is somewhere dry. So don't expect you to take ghee and then pass soft bowels the next day. Ghee will have to get into each and every cell. And then when you start doing exercises, that you have to do exercise moderately. That heat which is generated, you saw that, right? Niragni Sweda exercises there. That lubrication comes back into the gut. Because when your gut is dry, your body is dry, the lubrication gets absorbed. And then when the cells have got enough, it starts coming back. And that's when you'll start seeing effects of the lubricating effect of a normal ghee. But medicated ghee, you might see immediately. Okay, let us not think that will get converted into sugar energy and the oily part will completely evaporate. It doesn't happen like that. Okay, oily part is always going to be there. Cholesterol is oily part. It gets deposited here and there. Okay, once you start working out, it will again melt and come back to the system and get expelled. Oh, that's my thing itself. Dr. Sushila, yes. What would be ideal food plate look like in form of lunch and dinner? What all should include fundamentally? I think we are again coming back to the same thing, I would say, what are you used to eating, Samadhi? We are actually getting so very confused by what a lot of people are talking. Okay. I would not recommend anybody my area to eat soya and all those things, which never grows here. Okay. I would say you should probably eat other pulses for your proteins or whatever it is. So I would say when you look at an Ayurvedic plate, Ayurveda says Rasapradhanam Aharam. That means your food is taste dominated. So if you have got all the 6 tastes, Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Tikta, Katu, Kashaya, that is what in Ayurveda we call as a balanced meal. So you can have something which is sweet, not sweetened things like laddu, jalebi, payasam and all those things. No, rice is sweet, dal is sweet, ghee is sweet. That's why we start with that. Okay, you should have something which is sweet, you should have something which is sour, you should have something which is salt. You have all these things. One thing you should understand, that the body is capable enough and smart enough to take whatever it wants. Okay, let us not go by certain fads which says you eat that, you eat this. Some Japanese person in some place, some mountains in Japan live for 120 years because they ate that fruit and they market that fruit. See, you are only getting that fruit from there. You are not getting that environment or that water or whatever other things they are doing. So those things don't work. Okay, as I come back, whatever you are genetically used, eat those seasonally, get all those things and eat it regularly. You will be by and large healthy. I think I've already answered that. Sorry. Recently, we have been hearing about lots of heart attacks. According to what's the probable reason? A lot of heart attacks are being reported nowadays. Okay, it's one thing I would say is people who have been sedentary. Most people who have been sedentary suddenly realize that they have to do exercise and they go full out. It might not be good for you. Okay, and other thing is that wrong kinds of food. I would say ama is something, as we are talking about ama, or undigested metabolic waste is one reason why channels get blocked. And if you are somebody who is consuming food which are not good or wrong combination consistently, a daily release of ama is going to be there on a regular basis. Okay, and after a point of time these things get accumulated, and sometimes, as we said, we feel that if you are eating soy, in my opinion, you're eating soya, you are taking curd on a daily basis. They say, oh, curd and all you have to take, but Ayurveda says curd is not something nanitya, not supposed to be taken on a regular basis. So what is healthy is sometimes very confusing. I've always been on healthy foods, like I eat salads, I eat soya, I eat that, I have my, my juices, smoothies and sort of things. But are they actually healthy? We think they are healthy, but sometimes they might not be extremely healthy. So you will have this accumulation of metabolic waste happening on a regular basis, and after a point of time, they'll clog. From exteriorly, you look that they're active, they're healthy and all those things, but it can lead to heart attacks. Okay. So there might be a lot of reasons, but I would say, your lifestyle, and heart attack doesn't happen. The attack just happens as that, but heart attack doesn't happen overnight. It is accumulation. It could take 10 years, 15 years for it to happen. So there might be some habit which a person consistently did, which led to heart attack. It could be smoking, it could be drinking, it could be stress, it could be even the smoothies, it could be even the soya, anything which, it could be even the curd, we don't know. So something which is not good, which you're consuming on a regular basis, over a period of time can accumulate and lead to heart attack. Is only one example. It can lead to so many other issues. Okay. Is there any natural way of purifying water if I don't want to use a water filter where most minerals are lost in water? Just by boiling the water, you will not lose many of the minerals, but the water becomes sterile if you boil it. Boiling will not remove, might be a little bit here and there, but by and large, boiling is something which is very safe. I would say that is the safest way in which you can remove all physical impurities, like even including bacteria and all other things. But sometimes, if the groundwater, the water you get, if the area is polluted with industries, then you might have chemicals which might seep into that water. Those things are not removed by boiling. That water, even in spite of boiling, also can become unsafe for drinking. This is something which you have to bear in mind. Otherwise, if you know that, if you are very sure that the water you're drinking is potable, boiling is the best way in which you can sterilize it. In morning after waking up, I feel very hungry in winters. What should I consume? Any suggestions? I sometimes feel that you might either be staying awake late at night, or your dinner is very early. Okay, dinner is very early, and the time to sleep might be 3 hours, 4 hours, where your food is already digested and gone, and you're still awake, so your metabolism restarts. And you've decided not to eat at night. You drink some water or something, and you get up. When you by the time you get up in the morning, you're hungry, because by and large in winters, because it is very cold outside, just like taking a shower, the body gets cold, the agni, the metabolism goes inside, and you start feeling hungry. So hunger is more in winters. So I would say that's a time where you have to eat more food. You have to eat oily food, also do exercises. Okay, you have to eat sweet foods, and all those things happen in winters where you have got very good agni. Okay, when you're able to digest, eat. And when it comes to summers, you'll notice that it is so hot outside that you will not feel like eating too many things. That's when you have to go low on food. Okay, so look at your timings. Timings might be sometimes wrong. Does Ayurveda recommend boiling and reducing water to half before drinking for easy digestion of water? Would you recommend adding any spices or herbs while boiling? Ayurveda does recommend, reducing the water. But I would say boiling itself is more than enough, because water is uncooked. Normal water when you get is uncooked. When you boil the water, you're basically cooking the water. According to Ayurvedic philosophy, anything that is cooked is easily digestible. Okay, so uncooked or normal water versus boiled water is easily digestible. So that's why in Ayurveda, you will see never mix boiled water with cold water. Normally people do that mistake. When you're drinking, when you pour boiled water, it's very hot, let me add some cold water into it. It is wrong. Don't mix uncooked water into cooked water. Okay, it is viruddha. So wait 5 minutes, wait for the water to cool down, and then drink that. Okay. Now you can also add spices into the water to make it healthier, but it depends from season to season, person to person. General rule is that when it is rainy season, your vata goes up. So in rainy season, you can add jeera to process your water. When it is during the winter, it is slightly cold, you can add dry ginger. And when it is probably summers, when it is hot, you can add gold dhania. So it depends. But if you have got other conditions, then what you add into it can change. But otherwise, these three things are the general things which you can add. Okay, it's getting late, so let us wind up. Can anyone consume one amla every day, empty stomach in the morning? I don't know why you want to have it on empty stomach. Okay, get up in the morning, have a little bit of water, wait for some time, go take a shower. Okay, if you are somebody who does some puja, do some puja. And then when you're having your breakfast, have this amla and then continue with your breakfast. Okay, I don't want you to take amla and so that you get the whole benefits of amla. It doesn't work like that. One amla you eat consistently for every day is more than enough. It's got cumulative effect. Amla is a fruit which you can have on a regular basis. Likewise, even pomegranate is a fruit you can have on a regular basis. So amla is very healthy. You can have it. Okay. But I would not prefer you to have it on empty stomach, because it has got amla rasa. Even though after digestion it is sweet, but still it has got amla rasa pradhana. It is okay. It is sour. So let us have it and immediately have the breakfast. Okay. Is it a good idea to walk at least 2 kilometers having food? It is not a good idea to walk 2 kilometers. I would say it is always good to walk 100 meters. Okay. After food, you walk a little bit so that the food settles a little bit. Because I'll tell you, the moment you have food, it is a foreign thing, which goes inside your system, and it has to be taken care by the body. So when something foreign object comes, immediately there's a rush of blood. That's why you feel slightly sleepy. All the blood basically gets into the gut to digest the food. At that time, don't walk and give exercise to your legs, so that the blood also has to go to your feet. Okay. You sit for some time, relax for some time, then take a small stroll and come back. Okay. Kerala matta rice is considered best in terms of vitamins and fiber content. How traditionally we used to eat rice in old age, and how we evolved to polished rice and other low. Are they good? What you said is true. We call that purkalari, matta otta purka. That means it is parboiled rice where you dehusk it, but the bran is still there, which contains a lot of minerals. That's a different thing of it. But there's always one more saying that you have to wait for a year before you consume rice, which people don't follow nowadays. In the sense, after harvest, the paddy is kept for a year. because it basically grows in water. Navadhanyam abhishyandi. Okay, that means it can increase a lot of kapha. It can block all the channels. Which one? Fresh rice. So you leave it for a year, and it becomes legu. After that, you dehusk it and then you have it. That is the best way of consuming it, which might not be practically possible nowadays. But what you can do is you can buy the rice like we do. You can buy the rice, put it on an attic, say that it stays for a year, and then after that you can use it. So old rice is actually supposed to be better. So polished rice, it looks good, it smells good, but if you look at the nutrition part of it, I would say unpolished rice would be a better choice. Okay. So thank you. Next week we'll see you with another topic. Till then, goodbye. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Okay. Namaste.